All right, everybody. So, thanks for tuning in. And you reached Master Jedi's channel. My face is on this video, is on one of my videos on my post. So I'm not going to include it on this one. But if you look for me, you should be able to find me. Not that hard to find. New York's finest. But anyway, so I was on YouTube. And there was a post that somebody made about, a preacher in the church. And he was revealing to everybody that the Bible was fake. And, it didn't exist, and, hell didn't exist, and, we've all been duped. So, I helped this one sister respond. I responded to her post. And what I decided to do was I decided to let you guys take a look at my library here and see what I read, just to show you the path that I'm on, right? These are all books that I have in my library. Out of all of the books that I own, which is about 300 in total. All the books on this shelf, I read about 85, maybe 90%. So here we have Anti-Gravity in the World Grid. We have Sensual Massage, the Grimoire of the Necronomicon. We have both the Goetic Tablets, which is the Lesser Keys of King Solomon, and also the Greater Keys of King Solomon. These are very interesting books if anybody is into this type of mysticism. I also have a book here that I read in a day. This is the Canopus Revelation, Stargate of the Gods and the Ark of Osiris. Very good book. I cleared that book in about 4 hours. I also have the Secret Books of the Egyptian Gnostics. Very good book. Big fan of Egyptology, as some people call it. This is a serious mystery. Read that. This is the Mystic Grimoire of Ancient Mighty Spells and Rituals. Occult Tibet. Gotta have a first aid kit here. These are books based on sigil magic. Magic is very real. If you don't believe it is, then it is. Basic Magic. This is like one of the first books that I had ever read on the subject. Great Secret, Practical Egyptian Magic. Haven't read this one yet. This is not really the path that I'm on. I'm still trying to make a connection. Haven't read this one either. Inner Tantric Yoga. However, as I go through over here, and you see I got a lot of books on witchcraft. This book right here, this is Kali Kaula. I've also read this. I'm actually finishing that up. Let me take that back. I also have some books here on Awakening the Chakras. A very good book here that, this is a book on Kimbanda, which is the Brazilian Goetic system. And as you see, this is Spiritual Warfare. It was signed personally by the author of that book. Very big reader into these sciences here. Got two books here on how to develop your psychic powers. Got 1 and 2 over there. Got a book here on Palo Mayombe. A lot of people very familiar with Palo Mayombe. If you're not, it's an Afro-Cuban religion. Came along the same line of Santeria and Voodoo as well. I got the Ancient Temple of Witchcraft. I got the Psychonaut, Libanol, Peter J. Carroll, one of my favorite authors here. Very, very in-depth author. He definitely breaks a lot of stuff down. Again, as you see, I take my books very seriously. I got The Way of the Shaman here. I got Polarity Magic, which I haven't picked up yet. I got Sigils of Powers, great book. Got The Healing Power of Sound. Very good book for all of the people that meditate, all the enthusiasts that meditate. Also got The Occult Conspiracy. I am a Freemason, so I do have the right to own this book. I also have Naga Magic. I have a very interesting book that speaks about the Kabbalah. This is also by Peter J. Carroll, one of my favorite authors. I have The Secret Science. I read this in about a day. I have The African Origin of Biological Psychiatry. Very good book. Haven't really picked up Don Juan yet, Don Carlos. I read Crystal Magic. I have a few of these. Crystal Enlightenment. I got another one up here, a little smaller version. Pocket the Pocket Book of Stones. These are all reference materials here. And let's see, this speaks about Satan, where Satan derived. This is Seth and Egyptian magic. Then I'm real big on Father Sebastian, so I definitely have his collection here. Psychic Vampire Codex. All of this stuff really is a reference to Egypt. So I said in that post that I had made that, hey, everything came out of Egypt, all these sciences and stuff. Vampire magic is another one I've been dealing with. As Father Sebastian, very good writer. Father Sebastian is watching this. I'm very impressed with your literature. I also have quantum sorcery. I've been really in tune lately with quantum physics. I see my magic and my understanding and my consciousness going into that realm of quantum physics. Got this book. I'm almost done with this. This is The Shamanic Path to Quantum Consciousness. Another very good book. As I told you before, I'm dealing with, I'm going into quantum physics and quantum reality, quantum theory. Very good book. Vampire Sanchronomicon. Again, these are Father Sebastian books. They definitely know the science. And that's one thing is us. That's tarot cards up there. Again, I take my sciences very seriously. This is Deviant Moon Tarot. I also have one of those up there. So you see that I am the real deal. I got some wine over there I'm sipping. That's not blood, that's wine. Okay. And let's see what else we got. Let me change hands. That arm is getting tight. I also have books on Kali, Puja, which is the Hindu version of the left hand path magic. And got a very good book. I'm going to sit down and read that when I have some time. And that is the ancient mystical white brotherhood. And don't be confused by color, because the people that created that book were very black, just like me. Copulation of Sex talks about all the perversions throughout history. This is a very good book for any aspiring magician. It is helping yourself with magical oils from A to Z. A lot of people may think that I leave comments on there and I'm just bullshit. No, my brother. I've actually researched and read. Got Draconian Ritual book. This is part 2 right here. Got the Tree of Clip-Off. This is part 1. Very enlightening book, The Temple of the Ascending Flame. Again, I have a Freemasonry book here because I am a Freemason. I also have the Ankh, and that is the African origin of electromagnetism. Very good book. Also have a couple of books here. I was researching into kink magic, so those are pretty good books. This one right here, the Control book. This is a it's a $400 watch that I got just sitting up here, just collecting dust. There's an Invicta, it doesn't count. I also have Magic and Mystery in Tibet. Very good book. This book is out of print. Got the Rebel Buddha. Got this book here written by Wiccan. Then I got more books on Kiumbanda. This book right here is very rare. This book speaks about, this is the art of Eshu. And this book here is primarily important because this has all of the Goetia inside of it. It has all the puntos here. Very enlightening book. Very informative. These are our sciences, black people. These are our sciences that have been taken away from us, recycled, and a lot of us are afraid of it. As we go up here on the top, got this one. I had left the dojo. These were gifts from a lot of the other masters. These 2 books left for me when I got my degrees. That was one of the systems that I had studied. I also studied Bagua. Bagua, that's the correct pronunciation. I have the Gentle Art of Verbal Self-Defense. I have Dianetics up here. Haven't picked that up. Don't think I will ever pick that book up. Once I found out a science fiction writer written it, all the rest of these books are reference books. There's a book here on guerrilla warfare, practice of theory. Walter Mosley, one of my favorite authors. I'm sorry. Also have Langston Hughes, very big fan of him. Scrolling over, I have the complete encyclopedia on Denma, which this is the Poison Hand, Poison Death Touch. Also have the second version down there. These two books alone were about $100, so, and then I also have Fractals, which this was like my introduction into chaos magic. This is my introduction into quantum physics, so this book really led the way. I read this book in about maybe 2-3 days tops. So this is my library again. I take my books very seriously. I'm trying to bridge a connection to the ancient Egyptian sciences, and how they were disseminated across the continent, how a lot of tribes that came over during slavery had this information, they preserved this information, and how it's been demonized and bastardized with the world today. So again, and as I told you before, I do take my sciences very seriously. Here you see I have some sage, right? Because I believe in energy transference. I believe that people can encounter negative energy. So it's just best to clean out. As you see there, I got the Quantum Labyrinth. Again, I am starting to explore quantum physics. There's another very interesting book here. Actually, these are two interesting books here. Let me pull this over. As you see, I am a PlayStation enthusiast. If you see the games, you think you be down, get up with me. Grand Theft Auto, that's my baby. Don't sleep. I got an interesting crew. All right, and this book right here was something I picked up in a Botanica. And this is the Voodoo Handbook of Secrets, Cult Secrets. And, it has some Veve in there. And, it has some very interesting reads and stuff. A little short pamphlet. Anna Riva. Anna Riva is one of my favorite authors, too. If I meet her, if she isn't married, I will marry her, man. She is dead. More power to the ancestors. And, again, these are the Veve in here. These are primarily used in Vodun and also Santeria. You know what I'm saying? So these are very powerful ones as well. I normally don't do this. I normally don't let people into my library. But, it is what it is. Got a book here on Jinn magic as well. How could I describe this? If you're not ready for it, don't speak it aloud. Because it could, very well much be what you ask for it. This book right here, I have two of this cat's books. I have The Great Secret, which is here amongst one of the first books that I had read along with Basic Magic. And The Great Secret was basically my introduction into the mystery systems of the occult. As we do know, as any learned man will tell you, the word occult does not mean devil worship. The word occult does not mean Satan. The word occult means what's hidden. If you go to a hospital and you are bleeding internally, the doctor will state that you have occultic blood. Doesn't mean that you have the blood of Satan. It just means that you have hidden blood that is flowing through an open wound inside of you internally. The only reason that I had pulled out this book, the Book of Splendors and The Great Secret, is to bring to your attention the author down there, which is Eliphas Levi. Eliphas Levi was a priest in the Vatican. And he was the one that was responsible for the Baphomet. He was the one that was responsible for creating the Baphomet. The Baphomet is synonymous with who the image of what Satan looks like today. Beelzebub, that whole Baphomet experience. This guy is responsible. This guy is responsible for creating that image of what he thought the devil would look like. The devil does not look like that. The devil looks like this, right? This is a representation of Seth, which is Seth-an, which is where that whole entire Satan, Dark Knight, that whole entire, mythical, kind of fantasy, fictional tirade had happened where, this is the devil. But again, if you want to read, about who created the Baphomet, because people, they always take stuff at face value. Nobody wants to read anything anymore. I have these books as a testament to everything that I have read and will continue to read, because I am on a quest. I just don't take things at face value. I just don't say, oh yeah, that's devil worship, or that's the devil, or hey, this is such and such, so on and so forth. And I just leave it at that and just remain ignorant to everything. So again, this is my library. I got my gloves there. I take my fight seriously. Got a jump rope somewhere floating around here. And it was all silk shirts and shit, because, I look good, and I like to look good. Let me show you what I'm reading now, actually. And, where is that? Yep. So, this is what I am finishing up right now. And, this author right here, I'm a little upset because I got the book with a matte cover. I'm not a big fan of matte, but this is what I am finishing now. And again, all of this is all Egyptian sciences. None of this stuff is created by man, more importantly, created by the European. All of this stuff is actually borrowed. These are all sciences, people. This is not considered a devil worship. Is not considered as, anything that you've been told is a lie. Always believe the best way to hide something from someone, but more importantly, a black person, is to put it in the book. So I wanted to break that spell. I wanted to read everything I can get my sausage fingers on. The case of that being that I decided to read more on occult sciences because black people were literally afraid of it, and I wasn't afraid of it. You have to have a strong mind to be able to keep things like these in your house. You have to have a very strong mind. You can't have a weak mind. You got a weak mind, then these things will take control. And those inner demons that are inside of you, those 72 lesser and highers that are inside of all of us, man or female, child or it. We got a lot of its walking around here, and they are a result of not being a master of oneself. I am a master of oneself, and being that I am a master of oneself, I carry myself accordingly by constantly feeding and drinking from that wellspring of knowledge, and that's something that I encourage a lot of African Americans to do, or just people in general. Maybe there is something that you see. These are a lot of advanced books. So I have stuff on my shelves that are out of print. I got stuff on my shelves that, are very expensive. For instance, this book right here, again, one of my favorite authors, Father Sebastian, he wrote this book called The Vampire Predator Bible. And this particular book right here is very interesting. The last page will blow your mind. Let me show you the last page here. And this is what made me like this cat. Because see, there's a white dude right here. But this white dude, he put the science right in the back of the book. He put the truth right in the back of the book, right? So he knows what time it is. There's no more information back there. There's no more information back there. That's the last page of that book. Look at that. That's the last page of that book. So he put the sciences in there for all of us because he knows where he got it from. You can't go backwards without going forward. You can't go forward without going back. So again, in this little book right here, it's about 55 pages. Last time I checked, this book was worth $150. Look at that. Look at that. Right now, I'm going to take good old Abraham Lincoln penny, and I'm going to show you that Abraham Lincoln penny is bigger than this book. This book is worth $150. Last time I checked on eBay, you can get all 5 of the installments for about $750. I guess that was a discount. you know. But again, don't let these sciences scare you, because these are our sciences. All this right here belongs to us. It is our responsibility as descendants of very powerful and great people that have spanned the universe, the known universe, to actually research our own history. Because this is what the white boys have. The white boys, they took these sciences, they took all of these sciences, all of them, and they kept them for themselves, and they gave us Christianity as a substitute, as a weak-ass substitute. What is this? Isn't a weak-ass substitute. This is our sciences. So again, I'm not racist or anything, but, looking at the way that people treat people of color, chocolate people, then I do have to add that in, because I'm a product of my environment. But with that said, I put this up here hopefully to give you brothers and sisters some inspiration, and also some enlightenment into, a black man that isn't afraid to travel that astral plane and that mental plane to show you what I'm about. So you see my comments online, you need to recognize that I'm one of them black men that has no fear to travel where no black man has ever traveled before. And on that note, I bid you peace. So mote it be.